I believe the power of human rights to be the ability to exercise that human right. Having human rights but not having the power to exercise it or execute it is basically useless. So now when there are human rights and you have the power to exercise it and say, for example, I myself am a female, and within the space that I'm in, it's quite difficult, or it's quite not usual to other people to have a woman in leadership and to have a woman with such a position that I have. So now I'm exercising that, and I'm exercising that power to be a female and also to be a female in such a position. So the power of human rights is the ability to exercise it.
The power of human rights really is that it almost forces us, if one can force democracy, it forces us to live democratically. Having a right requires that you take account of the rights of others, that you take account of the public interest more broadly, that you take account of public goals and constitutional goals in exercising that right, and that you are willing always, when you exercise the right, to enter into a conversation with others. So rights are really, instead of being things through which we impose ourselves on others or through which we keep ourselves separate from others, rights are really about living together with other people and having conversations about what we are entitled to do, what the effect of that is on others, what the effect of that is on the public interest.
Their power is the ability to hold others to account in protecting these human rights, people with less influences against governments and corporations, etc. But I also believe that the power of human rights is in how they allow society to grapple with the questions of how we build an equitable and just society in the South African context, in the way that we thought about civil unions, the way that we think about life and the death penalty. These kind of discussions are centered around human rights and often shift our society towards a more just and equitable one.
All of us have human rights. That is what is so good about human rights. We have them simply because we are here. The rights that are contained in our Constitution are bestowed on all of us, but we have to keep in mind that what human rights most importantly do for all of us is not to allow ourselves again to impose ourselves on others. To say, for example, I have the right to protest and therefore I can demand anything in whatever way I want to demand it, and others have to acquiesce because I have the right to protest. We must remember that human rights in essence are those mechanisms of democracy that I spoke about. Because we have the right, in the exercise of that right, we must always take into account the rights of others, broader public goals and the public interest, and act accordingly.
Within the SRC, we have a specific office, actually. It's called the Universal Access and Social Justice Office. So that office advocates for human rights. That is where the LGBTQI plus community is, and that is where the queer community is, everybody is, and the quads, while students who are blind and whatnot. As a matter of fact, it's one of the first offices that we have within the SRC building. So within that office, that is where we now try and advocate for human rights, and that is where human rights are represented.
The university has articulated Vision 130, and Vision 130 puts human rights, the pursuit of human rights, at the center of what the university is about. So if you look at the values that are listed under Vision 130, we have values of care, we have values of accountability, and values of social justice. These things are telling you that the university sees itself advancing a human rights agenda. Therefore, for example, we speak about impact. Now, what are the kinds of impacts that we're looking for? We're looking for impacts that will fundamentally advance human dignity, human worth, human rights. So 12 years from now, across a range of areas of interest to the university, we will advance scholarship, we will demonstrate innovation, we will conduct research that will systematically and very impactfully change people's lives, our students' lives, the lives of people within our immediate communities, but beyond that, within South Africa, within Africa, globally. I think that's what the university is aiming at, and I think we have a very bold vision, the Vision 130, that will allow the university to do that in a truly powerful way.